Hey, babe, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. It's Friday, and the work week is over, so I can't complain. Your work week is not over, though.
I know. I have to work tomorrow.
That sucks.
Yep.
By the way, if you can hear, like, any outside noise, we're literally in the parking lot of a Dairy Queen, and we'll talk about why in a minute, but...
Because it's date night.
Yeah, it is. So today, on this episode, we're going to talk about our Colorado trip and some other stuff. But before we get into all that, I have a question for you.
For me or for them?
For you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I was going to wonder how they were going to answer, but go ahead.
So we are binge people, right? So we will sit down and binge watch a show that's like 6 or 8 seasons, and we'll get through it in like 2 weeks. Which some might say that's a problem. But that's not the point of my question. My question is, of all the shows that we've binge watched, I mean, and there's a lot of them, what character from any of the shows that we've binge watched do you relate to the most, and why? Like, which ones do you think represents you and why?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on. We've binge watched Friends, we've binge watched Big Bang Theory, we've binge watched Justified, The Mentalist. There's 100 shows we've binge watched.
I have no idea. I'm going to have to think about that. Why do you do this to me? What is yours?
Well...
And don't say Walter White.
Walter White is my guy. No, I wish. Not really. Actually, mine is, I'm going to cheat a little bit. So we just started watching a show called How I Met Your Mother. And one of the main characters on there, his name is Ted. And on the past, 2 episodes, I've talked about how, I was that kid or that person that, never could leave well enough alone. And if you've seen How I Met Your Mother, you'll know that Ted is that person. He just can't leave well enough alone. He screws up everything. And, he, on one of the first episodes when he met Robin, he told her he loved her. And, it's awkward. I feel like that's how I used to be. And so I can relate to that character probably more so than most any other character that we've seen on a binge watch show.
I could see that.
All right, your turn.
I think mine would be a cross between Monica and Chandler on Friends.
Why?
Because I have the Chandler part of me that, I always try to make if anything gets too serious or too intense or whatever, I always try to tell a joke or something just to lighten the mood, make people feel better, make people laugh, and I have that part. But then also, like Monica, I like some things in order. I like to have a plan. I like to know what's going to happen. I'm getting better about being spontaneous, but usually, especially in my work life, I have to have things planned out and do it, which is ironic since I work in an emergency department now. But when I had an office job, everything was in its place and I knew where stuff was. And I just had to have a list of what I was going to do that day and check things off my list kind of thing. So.
Okay. All right. Part 2 to this question.
Oh my gosh.
What of all the binge watch shows that we've watched, what's your favorite one? And why?
Well, I think just because it's most recent would be Breaking Bad. But like I said, I think it's just because I loved watching Justified. Mm-hmm. That was a fun one to binge watch. And then kind of on my own time, I binge watch Law and Order. I like that show a lot. But most recently, definitely Breaking Bad.
Which is funny because... so the way we work is we'll find a show, and if it's something we watch together, we're not allowed to watch it when the other person's not there, even though Heather does cheat sometimes.
I do not.
She's a Netflix binge cheater.
I do not.
Yes, that's on record. But so
Nice.
once we
Nice.
found a show that we watched together, we're not allowed to watch like separately. And so for the longest time, I had Breaking Bad on my list of shows that I was going to watch on my own because I was 100% sure Heather would not like the show Breaking Bad. And so it's been on my list to watch, and when I have free time, I'm usually editing videos and stuff, so I don't watch a lot of video. Like, I don't watch a lot of stuff by myself, so it's just been on the list. And I came home one day
From a trip.
I've been
because
gone.
let me tell my part of that. When you're gone and I'm by myself at night, I can't watch all my favorite shows because those are our together shows, because I'll start watching a show and he'll be like, oh, let's watch that one together. So I used to watch Blue Bloods, and then we determined that's an us show now. And then there were other shows that I would like to watch. So when you're out of town, I'm pretty much stuck with Law and Order or Friends again. So this particular night, I wasn't in the mood to watch either one of those. And one of my kids, I think maybe Joshua, had said something about Breaking Bad. And I always thought it was a terrible show. And of course, when you go to Netflix, it's rated mature. And even though he's almost 17, I started watching it out of curiosity just to see what kind of trash my son was watching. And then I was hooked by the first episode. So by the time Bo got home from being out of town, I was 4 or 5 episodes? No, I was a whole season.
I started watching it on season 2, episode 1.
That's right.
So once I deemed okay, this is going to be a show, I watched season 2, 3, 4, 5. We watched the movie El Camino. Now we're going back and we're watching Better Call Saul. But what we're doing in between, like, we'll watch a couple of episodes a night of Better Call Saul, and then we've gone back to Breaking Bad in season 1, and I'm watching an episode of that every night. So, like, I know what's happening, I know what's going on, but I've watched literally 2 through 5, El Camino, we're watching Better Call Saul now, and then I'm going back and finishing up season 1, which I never saw.
You make it sound like all we do is sit and watch TV. This isn't a span of several months. But
let me tell you, when most people say they binge watch stuff, they'll either pick a weekend and watch a whole bunch, or they'll watch 1 or 2 episodes a night. Generally, we will sit down on any given school night, work night, whatever you want to call it, and we'll watch 4 or 5 episodes of something, if not more sometimes.
And after every episode, we look at each other, we look at the time, and we say, another one? And then usually we watch another one because especially Breaking Bad always had such great cliffhangers. We wanted to get into the next show. Yeah, the writers of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul did a heck of a job of making sure after every episode you were in such a cliffhanger that you wanted to watch the next one. So I'm glad we didn't watch that when it was on TV and we had to wait a week before the next episode came out. That would have been horrible. Yeah. Also, if you're interested in any of this, I recommend watching Breaking Bad first and then watching Better Call Saul, because even though Better Call Saul came first, it was filmed after Breaking Bad, going back to tell backstories of the people in Breaking Bad, but it just works out better if you watch Breaking Bad first and then watch Better Call Saul. Yeah, there's a bunch of nuances in Better Call Saul that you'll miss if you don't. When did we become TV critics? I don't know. Look at us. We should do a TV critic podcast. We have done a TV critic podcast. All right. So enough about that. Now let's get into the meat of the discussion. Welcome to Loving Our 25 to Life. I'm Heather.
And I'm Bo. Together we've been married over 25 years.
Yeah, baby!
And this is where we talk about life, love, and all the adventures we have had along the way.
Oh, wow.
Whether we're sharing stories from our marriage or taking you along one of our trips, we're here to reflect on how we've made it this far and where we are headed next.
So grab a seat, settle in, and let's dive into another episode of Loving Our 25 to Life. Okay, so before we get into really what we're here to talk about, why don't you fill us in on why we're in the Dairy Queen parking lot? So back in 2015, we had been married, I guess I can't do math, 16 years? Yeah, 16. Around 16 years. 16 years. So the kids were kind of in
they were younger. I think Joshua was elementary. Bethany and Caleb were middle high school. So, you know, as many parents when their kids are that age, we were chaotic. That's when I worked at, I had a Monday through Friday job, and I had a office and everything. So I was gone Monday through Friday. It was kind of a drive. And of course, Bo worked at the office. And so just over a period of a long time, we just kind of got to where we didn't really talk. It was more of we were doing business transactions instead of a marriage. Like, we weren't spending any time together. We were growing apart. And then there was a period of time where he got into playing, was it Xbox or PlayStation? Mm-hmm. He got into playing video games on his Xbox. And we would, for like probably a month or two, literally he would come home from work, eat his supper. Back then I actually cooked, right? I did the cooking. Okay. Now he does all the cooking, and that's a whole nother story. But, so he would come in, eat his dinner, go upstairs in the bonus room and play Xbox until 2 a.m. So in the meantime, what?
I would say there were many nights where I would tell the people I'm playing with, I'm like, hey guys, what time is it? I'm sure it's 11 or 12. I need to go to bed. And it would be 5:30 in the morning that I had played from like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock the night before till 5 o'clock in the morning.
So in the meantime, while he's doing all that, I'm, you know, cleaning up the kitchen, dealing with the kids, spending time by myself. I mean, honestly, I just was getting really lonely, and he didn't see it. Like, he just thought everything was hunky-dory. And so the summer of 2015, our kids were in Mississippi visiting their grandparents that lived there at the time. And I came to Bo with, hey, I'm done. Like, if this is what being married is like, I don't want to do it anymore. So the kids are gone. I have this plan. I told him the plan. And he just broke down, and he said, absolutely not. He said, I didn't realize it had been that bad. Josh was calling me. Do I answer it?
It's fine.
Hello?
Hey, I just want to let you know, I put my phone on the charger, and then it just proceeded not to charge. So if it's an emergency, just don't decline calls. If it's an emergency, I'll just use someone's phone.
Okay, I will. I'll remember that. Have fun and be careful.
I will, don't worry.
All right.
It's on 5 on low power mode, so it should at least last me to the, like, I'd say another hour. So
put it on airplane mode. It'll last you longer.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
All right. I'll just let you know.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That's totally going in the episode.
I was going to say, that's actually very timely, because I don't know that we've had a date night where one or all the kids haven't called us. But anyway, so I told Bo that I didn't want to be married anymore. And he broke down, and he said, no, he said, we're going to fix this. And he said, let's go to therapy. And I'm like, okay. So we found a therapist. She was amazing. But one of the things she told us in one of our sessions was, you have to make time for each other. Like, you have to set one night aside, no matter how busy you are. You plan it. Like, it's like a doctor's appointment or whatever. You plan it, and that is your date night. You get away from the kids. You get away from the house. And she said, on top of that, when you're on your date night, you don't talk about the kids. You don't talk about the bills. You talk about each other and your interests. And, you know, she gave us some ideas, some conversational ideas and stuff. So we did that. We went to her for about 6 months, and she just really helped us out a lot. And so ever since then, except for, of course, the weeks you're out of town, because that's awkward, but every week since 2015, we have set aside at least one night, even if it's just to run up to the McDonald's for 30 minutes and hang out and, you know, have a milkshake or something. We do a date night every week. And so this is our date night tonight, because I've been working a lot this week, and this was the only night we had. And like I said, Joshua calling was actually perfect. And we didn't plan that, I swear, because just about every date night we've had, one of our kids has called us for some reason or another.
And just to clarify, like, date night doesn't always have to be like the complete most awesome time. Like, tonight we literally drove 30 minutes down to Frankfort, Kentucky, I had a chainsaw that I bought from Lowe's that worked twice, and the third time it didn't work, so we brought it back. They were awesome enough to exchange it. This isn't a plug for Lowe's, but
that was the best customer service ever.
For sure. And then we went to eat, and now we are at the Dairy Queen parking lot because after we finish this podcast, we're going to go in and we always end our date nights with a blizzard. So we're going to get a blizzard. So that's it. So we like to keep these podcasts about 20 minutes. And so we're already at like 15 minutes. So do you want to go into the Colorado story, or do you want to talk a little bit more about date night and we can postpone Colorado to the next episode, or how do you want to do this?
Let's just keep talking about date night because I think Colorado's going to need its own episode.
Okay. Yeah.
I do want to say, just since we're kind of off script anyway, Bo and I both have had a few people reach out to us thanking us for the podcast because they're enjoying it. And one of the people that's reached out to us, they've been married, maybe not quite,
years.
Almost 10 actually.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years. But, and they have like a 1-year-old that they're raising together. And for them to text us and say, hey, we really enjoy listening to your podcast. Thanks for doing it. Keep it going or whatever. That just means a lot because honestly, when we started doing this, I really thought he and I would be the only two that would ever listen to it. So the fact that some of you are out there are listening to it and actually some of you are actually enjoying it, that means a lot to us.
I think they enjoy my part, really.
You think? I think you're wrong.
Maybe.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time you were wrong. So what's your most memorable date night?
Wow. That's a put on the spot moment. Because like I said, very rarely on date nights do we go somewhere like a place to listen to a band or like an event or whatever. Usually we're just going out. Well, we do go to Ulta a lot, which is fine because my distilleries are equivalent to your Ultas. So I feel
and like when we lived in Knoxville, honestly, we would go to Turkey Creek, we would go eat somewhere, we would go to Ulta for me for about 30 minutes, and then we would go to Total Wine for you to look at bourbon for about 30 minutes. So I mean, honestly, that is the epitome of how marriage is just a give and take, because especially in the beginning of his bourbon, all the things, I didn't like bourbon. I didn't like alcohol. I didn't, he did his thing and I did mine. But by me going with him places and being part of that and whatever, I've actually gotten to where I enjoy bourbon. I've met a lot of his bourbon friends who I really like. They're like family. So that's kind of a plug for if your spouse is doing something you're not completely interested in, try it out anyway and just maybe it'll work. Of course, you still haven't gotten a makeover at Ulta.
I haven't gotten a makeover, but I will say I do like going to Ulta with you. I mean, I do. And there have been many a times where we've been out and I'll say, do you need anything from Ulta? And you're like, no, why? I'm like, because I feel like we need to go there. And you just give me that look like I'm weird or something. But I enjoy, like, I don't know anything about that stuff and I'm not going to get a makeover, but I enjoy watching you go into a store with 5,000 different types of makeup and search for that one that you want.
Or I have to ask this question to any ladies out there that might be listening, both of you. How many bottles of shampoo do you have in your shower? Because, go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a connection here. So in the same way that you buy shampoo, I feel like I buy bourbon. So I'll buy a bottle of bourbon and generally the comment that comes next is, oh yeah, honey, that's great that you bought a bottle of bourbon because we don't have 200 other bottles at home. But my response is this bottle is different from the other 200 that we have at home.
Well, I don't have that. I don't have enough shampoo bottles to put in the living room on two bourbon barrels.
I feel like you have enough. But whenever you say like I need some more shampoo, I will say, well, we have 9 bottles in the shower now.
This is coming from somebody that uses the same bottle for shampoo, body wash, and
True.
whatever else. Like,
That's the
and
best.
he'll put it on his head and let it run down, and he says
Yeah,
that's how it gets clean.
Well, you're lucky I don't put it on in the swimming pool and call it a day because
No, you say that swimming is your bath. Remember?
swimming is if I'm going to the pool, that counts as my shower and
He's not
everything
kidding,
else.
y'all.
That's my bath.
And I'm the opposite. I have to take a real shower as soon as I get out of the pool.
Chlorine cleans you just as much as soap does.
I can't even with you.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up unless you have anything else that you wanted to get at.
I was going to talk about my most memorable date night.
Yeah, do that. I forgot about that.
My most memorable date night, and I won't go into complete details because I love my 3 cherubs and I don't want to embarrass any of them. But I think it was Was it Valentine's Day?
I don't know what you're going to say.
I think it was it was a special night. Like we were actually we had plans and we were actually going to do something special, and we weren't there 30 minutes. I think we're still in the car going.
Mm-hmm.
And Bethany called because at that time Bethany was in high school, and I had kind of put her in charge of the other 2 boys, and they all had their things that they needed to do before we left. And one of my children, I won't say which one, didn't want to do their part, and it became a whole thing. And so Bethany called me and said, "Mom, you need to come home right now and take care of this." And it was just a whole thing. But like I said, the kids would always call. That was the only time they called, and we had to actually go home and take care of some stuff. But normally it's just like Bethany will call sometimes now when she doesn't realize we're on date night, just to tell us how our week went or whatever.
So I do want to recant my previous answer. So there's been twice that we were in the middle of eating or not even there yet. The one you spoke of. But do you remember the one where we were out? I think we're in the middle of eating. We get a call from our kids. We're on date night. We get a call from our kids. Joshua and Caleb were in the backyard playing.
Oh, yeah.
They threw the Frisbee over the fence. And when we lived in Powell, we lived behind this guy who was a complete,
he was mean. Very mean.
I don't want to cuss or anything on this podcast, but he was the worst of the worst. And so they threw the Frisbee over the fence. Caleb jumped the fence to go get the Frisbee. The guy came out with a gun and said if he caught my kids in his yard again, he was going to kill them. So they call us. I fly home. And if you know me, I'm pretty even kill. I don't, have a temper. I don't get mad easily, anything like that. So I got home and I immediately ran to the backyard to the fence and I politely started trying to coerce the guy outside.
Oh my gosh.
And actually I think one of the phrases was Heather said, "Bo, come here. You're going to the guy's got a gun. You're going to get killed." And I said, "I got a gun too. So let's just make this a good old fashioned shootout."
At that time, we didn't realize that your gun didn't have a.
Well, yeah, true. My gun
didn't work.
I've had a gun for 10 years that I just found out about a year ago that it didn't have it has a hammer, but it didn't have a pin in the hammer. So
he would have lost that gun.
I would have lost the gun.
But we did call the cops that night.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, if you also know me, you know that I've dabbled a little bit in
making his own coffee.
Making my own coffee is what we call
wink,
it.
Wink.
And I was in the middle of having my still up and running, making my own coffee.
Wink, wink.
When we called the cops. And so the cops showed up to my house to take my statement about this guy. And I was so worried that he was going to catch on that I was making my own coffee. So, but yeah, that was pretty interesting. So it's only been 2 times that we've interrupted our date night because our kids call with these ridiculous requests. So,
helping them out of hard situations.
Yeah. But they're mostly pretty even kill. And like Heather said, it's just to sit back and not focus on anything other than us. Talk about how's your day, how's life going, stuff like that. So
don't stop dating your spouse. Ask them. Sometimes, as long as we've known each other forever, I still find out things about him I didn't know, and I'll ask him questions just out of the blue, like, what is your favorite blah, blah, blah. And then we'll start talking about that. And we have a lot of conversations about the Bible and our beliefs there. And I mean, we just have a lot of thought-provoking conversations that we wouldn't have sitting at home in the mundane of everything.
Mm-hmm. And now we're about to sign off here and go get a blizzard, and we're gonna top this bad boy off with a blizzard. So
I can't wait. I'm gonna get the if they still have the chocolate brownie thing one.
Yeah.
I want that one.
Well, it's fall, so I'm either gonna get the pumpkin pie blizzard or
it is not fall. I spent the day at the pool today, and it was amazing.
It was
such a good pool day.
It's almost fall, so I mean, you can feel in the air. There's football games going on. There's all this stuff, but
not till the 22nd.
I might do a pumpkin pie. I don't know. I've been into caramel lately, so I might do something caramelly.
The biggest question is, are we going to go through the drive-thru? Which, as we've been doing this podcast, I've been watching the drive-thru, and it takes each car approximately 8 minutes at the thing to get there. Or are we going to go in and watch them make it? But it's probably going to be cold inside, so let's just go through the drive-thru and be patient.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Love you.
All right, so... Were you talking to me or them?
I was talking to you and them. I love them too, but I love you.
I love you too. And so next week we will get to the episode on Colorado that we didn't get to today because we were talking about date night, which date night is very important to talk about. And I mean, maybe there's somebody who's listening that's like, heck, I never even thought about doing that. So it is fun. It's just a way to relax. And so I'll stop talking now. Heather's already gone anyway. She's already gone in there to get her blizzard. And then we'll talk to you next week. That's it for today's episode of Loving Our 25 to Life. Aww. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found something to take with you on your own journey.
Remember, love is an adventure. Sometimes it's wild, sometimes it's calm, but it's always worth it.
Yes!
If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who might need a little inspiration.
And don't forget to follow along for more episodes and vlogs documenting our travels, life lessons, and hopefully plenty of laughs.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep loving life because it is the greatest adventure of all. Bye for now.